And this is where John starts talking over the.
Am I supposed to do that?
I guess it was me this week. Welcome back
Is that what we're doing?
Welcome back to the Gun Collective podcast. My name is Adam Kraut.
And my name is Jon Patton.
And today's show is brought to you by Frida Munitions and Hollow Sun, our awesome sponsors. And real quick, since we're streaming live on YouTube, for those of you there, and if you want to use the super chat feature, which some people were doing last week, first of all, we appreciate it. That's awesome of you guys. Second of all, we will read your question.
Yeah, we will 100%. If you guys are cool enough and you want to do the super chat, which requires money, we're not saying you have to, but if you want to, we will 100% read your question.
You have to do it.
No. But we may not answer your question. We will read it.
You weren't supposed to tell them that part. We were going to get to that later.
No.
Well, we said we'd read it, not answer it. Anyway, we are joined. Before we're joined, this whole week has been just another whirlwind of gun control proposals and boycotts. So tonight we're joined by our friend Matt DeVito of Downrange Firearms Training to lend his opinion on the topics at hand. He is a sponsored hunter and firearms instructor. So while hunting is a big passion of his, he is rather vocal that the Second Amendment is not for hunting, but rather to defend against a tyrannical government. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We always enjoy hanging out with you.
Yeah.
You're a fun guy.
We've known Matt for quite a while, so this is not, I know a lot of people have got used to some of the interviews and stuff. Matt's going to be joining us on our journey down gun control alley tonight.
Yeah. I was going to say memory lane, but it's not memory lane.
No.
Hopefully it never becomes that either.
Yeah, I was going to say not yet.
Yeah.
These are not fun things we're talking about.
Not one bit. So, I guess we'll get this kicked off here with California, Minnesota, New York, Delaware, and one other state, Florida, are all talking about or have proposed legislation for more gun control. I'm not going to run through it. We kind of did that last week, and I'm sure there's some other states I'm missing on that. Rhode Island, I know there was an executive order signed. Minnesota, apparently they managed to stall some bills in committee, which would have been really bad. Delaware's got some stuff proposed. So the links for that will be in the description or show notes. But yeah, it seems like a whole number of states are getting on board here with let's try and get some stuff passed.
So what are they trying to do?
It depends on the state. So Delaware, for instance, I was actually down in Delaware this past weekend. Newspaper article said they want to ban all kinds of assault weapons down there.
So it's basically nationwide.
Oh, yeah. It's just everybody's throwing, I guess, stuff to the wall, see what'll stick. What's going on up there, Matt? Anything up in your neck of the woods?
So New Hampshire, where I live, is live free or die. So there's really nothing going on here. But Massachusetts has passed their own bump stock ban. Where
that's not
you
new,
have
though.
No, it's not new. But there's other stuff in the works, and it's kind of funny. I'm on all the mass gun forums, and was it 6 or 7 months ago? Everybody's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get silencers and suppressors in Massachusetts, and they're gonna lift the assault weapons ban, and they're gonna do this, and we're gonna be able to have magazines that hold more than 10 rounds." And now it's like, yeah, turn your stuff in. I mean, I know even police officers, usually cops, are kind of above the law. A bunch of police departments had the bump stock ban go out to them as well, to their officers, and their officers were told to turn in their bump stocks or lose their jobs.
First of all, how do they even know who owns a bump stock? I mean, I guess if you were there shooting with your cop buddies or like you told them, that could be a thing. But I love this mentality, like, oh, we're going to ban this and it's going to erase them from history. No. Also, you cannot ban my ability to lightly hold a gun against my shoulder and bump fire it.
Want to bet?
It's yeah. You know what? Tim's videos, Mac's videos, have been the biggest kind of slap in the face of that, where people just think that, oh, this device is going to make all the fast shooting bump firing go away. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. Do you own one of those, or is that like a you're not going to say it publicly kind of thing?
I never I would never purchase one. I was sent one. I was sent one by company, Bump Stock or Slide Fire, whoever it was, a couple years ago. I took a few pictures with it for promotional stuff, and I never even installed it on a gun, and I don't know where it is. It
But
could
would
be
you
somewhere in
would
my...
you I know this answer myself, but I want the audience to know this. Do you support a ban on anything?
No, that's stupid. It, it's I mean, and the thing is, I talked about this a little bit last night on This Week in Guns. I'm kind of jaded because I grew up in Massachusetts. So when people talk about being 21 to buy a rifle or, a high capacity firearm, I grew up with that. So I really didn't know any better. So when I heard that this kid in Florida had, done the school shooting and that he was only 19, I was like, oh man, well, he got the gun illegally. You got to be 21 to buy a gun. And then I should say to buy a rifle. And then I texted my buddy in Florida and I'm like, hey, so he got that gun illegally, right? And he's like, no, at 18, you can buy long guns in Florida. And I'm like, oh man. So it's like,
Whoops.
yeah, well, like I said, like I'm kind of jaded because I didn't get my first pistol. I didn't get my first AR until I was 21 because those are the laws I grew up with in Massachusetts. And obviously being a lot older than 21 now, it never really crossed my mind that, an 18-year-old kid can go to the store and buy the same, AR or AK that I can. I wish I grew up like that. I'd probably have a lot cooler guns because they would have been a lot cheaper back then. But yeah, it's stupid. And my biggest thing, from I guess you can say from a hunting perspective, is somebody that didn't grow up hunting, but somebody that enjoys getting young hunters into the sport is now does this mean that as a 18 or 19-year-old kid, you can't go out hunting with your own rifle until you're 21? Because, we all know I use an AR-15 or AR-10 derivative for all of my hunting because
You can't do that.
platform.
It's a weapon
Right.
of
So
war.
that's,
It's a weapon
Yeah,
of war.
yeah.
Stop doing that. It's meant for the battlefield, not deer.
yeah, right.
How
God
dare
forbid.
you exercise your rights and be an American?
Right.
So I think it's
Um,
pretty clear that you are in support of zero bans, and the comments from President Trump.
Well, we'll get there. That's not quite up on our agenda, but we'll be getting to that.
Oh, did I miss one?
Unless you want to start there, we can start there. I don't care.
Well, we're starting off with gun control. Let's move into what Trump said. So I believe it was yesterday afternoon it really started popping out that he are we going to cover the due process thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some really good quotes in the article here. So this one's
the
from
due process thing. I was livid.
Oh, well, yeah. Hold on. So first he says that some people are petrified of the NRA, and I'll have you note it's the NRA that they're petrified of. Take that for what it's worth. Then he continues on here that if you want to add concealed carry reciprocity to this, you'll never get it passed. So it sounds like he's trying to, kill that one. But the one that really irked a lot of people, myself included, very much so, was this quote: I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
I'm not really sure he understands due process.
Well, I'm not sure anybody that's been in that office as of late has understood what due process is. Let's have secret lists for suspected terrorists.
Well, this mentality of act first and then just try and fix it later is just unacceptable. I mean, how can you... I understand the desire to want to stop this. I understand that he does not want any more children to get killed in schools while he's president. I understand that.
Nobody wants that.
Right. No good, decent human being wants anyone to get killed while they're in office. But this kind of ridiculousness that he's doing and this flip-flopping at the same time, he was like, I don't support raising it was first he was in support of going to 21, then he wasn't in support after meeting with the NRA, and now that there was a bunch of Democrats like Dianne Feinstein in the room with him, he's suddenly pandering to them. This is a massive problem.
That picture of him and her like this, oh my God. It's like...
I mean, she
hurts your heart.
has made it clear that she wants to strip every gun owner in the United States of their right to keep and bear arms. She has made it abundantly clear. And he is now saying things that are in that vein. We want to take your guns and then maybe decide if you're allowed to have them afterwards.
This is just 87D chess. God, aren't you guys paying attention?
87 dimension chess. Somebody
Hashtag
put that
not
on
my
a
president.
t-shirt. You know what?
That's not how this works. Can I just make a point here? Whoever's sitting in that office is your president, whether you like the person or not.
Yeah.
Get over
Hey,
it.
I voted for a dead gorilla, so
You voted for Harambe?
I don't even know what to make of that nonsense.
So what else was there something else that he remarked about that we haven't covered here?
I'm sure, but that was the biggest one that popped out was the due process.
He said lawmakers are petrified of the NRA.
Yeah.
That was a direct quote.
Yeah, some of you are petrified.
I was talking about that this morning, and the scary part is, and I guess I haven't really paid much attention to it 'cause I hate politics to begin with. The scary part, I guess, like I said, I haven't really paid much attention when people are like, oh, I can't believe he tweeted this or he did that, and he doesn't understand laws and politics and the Constitution. And I watched that video, and I saw Pence speaking, and then the camera cut to him, and he says, we're just going to take the guns. And it cuts back to Pence, and Pence is like, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. He has no idea. And it's like, it's finally like, okay, now I'm on board with everybody else. I guess not to the whole liberal wackadoo thing. But now I'm starting to see that, okay, yeah, you know what? He is an idiot, and he's probably not fit for presidency. And everybody's like, oh, you got to give a little, get a little. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because so far in his 1 year in presidency, he's already proposed a million times more sweeping gun legislation than Obama did in 8 years. And that's kind of the issue that I see, is that he just doesn't understand it. And he's saying stuff to appease people. And before with all the Kim Jong-un stuff of, the nukes and the this and the that, and, trying
I have a bigger button.
It's like, right. Like before I was like, haha, okay. 'Cause it really didn't affect me. And everybody's like, oh, he's an idiot for saying that stuff. And now I'm like, yeah, you know what? He is an idiot. And
now all of a sudden you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Now it's something that matters to me.
I think one of the interesting things in watching him do this is the way he behaves in rooms of different people. So I think Donald Trump is employing tactics to try and get everyone in the room to like him, but he doesn't understand the fact that what he says in those rooms leaves
repercussions.
That room. Yeah, it leaves that room and matters.
Well, and I think ultimately, I mean, actions speak louder than words. I'm not saying that I have the blind faith that all these people that you see in the comments section and on forums are like, oh, you got to have faith in Trump. He's just playing the game.
You know what? I haven't seen that. Where is that?
Everywhere, literally everywhere. Anybody that's a very big Trump supporter, they're like, you gotta get. No, man. That came out of your mouth, right? Like,
you can't.
I don't trust you further than I can throw you, which is not far at all. So.
Right.
Yeah, so the Trump statement's big problem. Real quick, we're going to jump on over here to Senator Mossy, a big Second Amendment supporter.
Dude, this is awesome.
So he has proposed new legislation while everyone else is doing it, except he's trying to drop the age for handgun purchases from 21 to 18. Bill has no co-sponsors.
This is a federal thing?
Yes, it's federal. It was... no co-sponsors, referred to the House Committee and the Judiciary. Last year, Utah actually lowered the age for concealed permits from 21 to 18. So, good bill here.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. Well, there's no reason in my brain to limit... Where did that come from anyway, the 21 thing?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall.
The Brady bill.
Well, I think it had to do with the Congress found that crime was committed with handguns more frequently and the age. So I don't know. It's what's interesting is that it's kind of at odds with the decision in Heller at this point, if you think about it, because they're saying that a handgun is like the quintessential choice for home defense. And, you know, if 18-year-olds are able to exercise their constitutional rights, which they should be, you would think that then there's an argument there as far as the constitutionality of that.
Sure. There was a quote, I believe, from Mossy that said, you know, there's no reason that a 19, 20-year-old single mom should not be
so
able...
if you raise the age to buy a long gun from 18 to 21 while keeping the age to buy a handgun at 21, you have completely exhausted the constitutionally guaranteed right of a 20-year-old mother to keep and bear arms. I agree.
Totally agree. Drop the age. It's not going to go through, but drop it anyway. I don't see that going through. Go ahead, Matt.
You go right back down to it, and 18 is the age to vote. So if you're responsible enough to pick your future leader for the next 4 years, why aren't you responsible enough to be able to carry a handgun? If you're responsible enough to, if you're responsible enough to sign up for the United States military, carry a machine gun overseas, and fight and die for your country, why can't you carry a handgun in your home country to protect yourself? So, I mean, you know, when people are like, oh, 21's the why? Why is 21 a magic age? Because most people can drink by then, so they stop making stupid decisions. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people make stupid decisions at all ages.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not limited to 18-year-olds and under.
I want to do away with due process and just take guns. See, that guy's old and he made a really bad decision.
Because he's losing his mind slowly. Speaking of losing his mind, Jeff Sessions came out earlier this week. I mean, the hits just keep on coming here. He said Tuesday that he believes bump fire stocks can be effectively banned through regulations, teasing an announcement from the Justice Department that would be coming soon.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that got met with, we're going to sue you.
You're going to sue them?
Well, yeah. We got retained by the Firearms Policy Coalition. Brandon Combs, who was a guest very early on.
He's number one. First guest,
Firearms Policy Coalition. They retained Josh and I to draft any comments in opposition to proposed rulemaking, and then potentially, if it gets implemented, litigate the matter.
So I think that's a big deal, and it has nothing to do with TGC. I think that's a big deal that you and Josh are going to be suing the United States government.
We do it all the time
on a larger public scale.
Yeah.
You guys do it day to day. I know that. I know you always sue the government, but this is a very interesting position to be in for you guys.
Yeah. What's awesome is that FPC's right up to the plate. I mean, there was no we had kind of talked about this for a little while now, but we made the announcement the other day. But those guys over there, they believe in individual rights and liberty. So I'm thrilled to be part of the process there.
And I'm excited to see what you and Josh can do to combat that stuff, because if there are two people that I believe understand the Constitution of the United States more than you, I don't know who they are. Between you and Josh, it's
there's certainly other constitutional scholars out there. I get what you're saying.
You guys are very skilled at understanding and going through that process, so it's awesome.
So what the interesting point here real quick, and then we'll keep it moving, is that NRA, and rightfully so for that matter, with their statement after Las Vegas, just so everybody's clear on my position on that, got a lot of grief from everybody because they said it should be subjected to additional regulations. NRA has publicly opposed legislation to banning bump stocks. So I just want to make that note. And doesn't mean I agree with what they did. Not saying
they opened the door to that. We talked about that last week.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I'm just simply saying when it comes to the legislative aspect, they are opposing it in every state that it's coming up in. Just food for thought, but we'll see where this goes.
It's kind of damage control, I
believe.
Yeah. But all right, so trying to move through this because there's a massive amount of stuff going on when it comes to the Second Amendment.
Hey, Matt, how do you feel about Dick's Sporting Goods?
I was like, I thought we weren't going to say anything bad, and I didn't know Sporting Goods was coming after that. So I got my first job, I guess, in the firearms industry at a Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought my first rifle at Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought my first shotgun at Dick's Sporting Goods. As a new gun owner, you really don't know where to go. I was trying to formulate words without using a swear word.
Hold on, give it a second here. And speaking of which, I think I bought my first shotgun at Dick's as well.
I've never bought a gun from them.
Down in Delaware. I was 18. I didn't know any better.
You know what's crazy is I bought my first shotgun, which is a Benelli Nova at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I think I paid like $250 for it.
That's a really good price for a Nova, isn't it?
Do you still have it?
Brand, yeah, I still have it. No, I don't have it. Do I have? No, I sold it because it had been through the fire, and I sold all the guns that burnt in the fire. It's funny though. I sold it and I got $350 for it because like new Novas go for like $600 now. So yeah.
So Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, it's a corporate entity. They bow down to the powers that be above them. They don't sell a lot of guns to begin with. They sell a lot of Yeti coolers. They sell a lot of really cheap clothing. They sell a lot of sports jerseys. I mean, when people get all up in arms about it, it's been going on since Sandy Hook. They stopped selling all that stuff back in Sandy Hook, and it's like, oh, let's have this outrage and let's boycott Dick's Sporting Goods after Sandy Hook because they took away the Troy AR-15 rifles. But then next week, Dick's is going to have a sale on 22 ammo. So we should probably go stock up on it.
Storm
because
Dick's.
The 22 and the 9 mil. Yeah, the 22 and the 9 mil is really cheap. So let's go stock up on it. But we won't buy rifles from them. It's, I mean, I get it. I get where they're coming from with it. I guess the idea behind it. But people are still going to go buy guns and ammo at Dick's Sporting Goods because they have really cheap guns on sale all the time and pretty cheap ammo. And
so do you think that the American gun owner is the type of person that's on Facebook? And the reason I say this is because the Dick's Sporting Goods outrage is a social media thing.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no outrage nationwide beyond Facebook and Instagram right
Twitter.
now.
Yeah.
So does that mean that anybody that's not on there, which is a lot of people that are older gun owners that are not interested in social media, they have no idea this is happening. Nor do they probably care.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
I don't know. I think that's an interesting point. And speaking of that, Walmart.
Well, hold on one second real quick with the Dick's thing. So you made the point that it started after Sandy Hook, which is absolutely true. But they also own Field and Stream. So they took
now, hang on. Field and Stream came out and said that there was no relationship there whatsoever and that they didn't support that.
Really? Okay.
Where that's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I stand by.
I believe you.
And the only reason you should believe me, I'm a pretty trustworthy guy. The only reason why I know that is for whatever I was following Field and Stream on Instagram, I guess, and I didn't even know. Just to be clear,
so what is Field and Stream? Somebody educate me here.
I don't know. It's another business, but I thought Dick's owns Field and Stream. If that's
I thought it was like a clothing company.
Well, yeah, but it's also a store. I think there's like 26 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was under the impression that Dick's owned it, and they were sitting on all those Troy rifles after Sandy Hook, and they're like, well, we got a lot of money tied up. We got to sell these things. We're just going to sell them over here. But apparently that might not be the case.
Okay, wait a second. So let me back it up. Now I know why I was following them. It's Field and Stream, the magazine, not Field. Which it's apparently it's a different affiliate, than Field and Stream Shop, because they came out and said, just to be clear, Field and Stream media brand is not affiliated with Dick's, the retail store, or Field and Stream shops. I thought it was all one and the same. I guess it's not.
That makes sense that the magazine's not. But my guess is that they were sitting all that inventory after Sandy Hook happened, like, we got a lot of money tied up in this. We
Wow.
got to sell it. So they shipped it on over there. And now this is really at the end, this is just kind of like a big publicity stunt again. They get free mentions. They get a lot of pissed off people. But, going on to Walmart here, since you were talking about that.
Walmart is going to raise the age to buy a gun to 21 across the board. They sell... I don't think I've ever seen a handgun at Walmart. So
the only place, actually, interestingly, the statement says that in 2015, Walmart ended sales of modern sporting rifles, including the AR-15. We also do not sell handguns, except in Alaska, where we feel we should continue to offer them to our customers. What
that's
is that
interesting.
awful
That's an
noise?
autoplay.
Sorry. Yeah, stupid autoplay. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, so yeah, in Alaska, they do sell handguns, and they are going to continue to do that. They go on to note that they don't sell bump stocks, high-capacity magazines, and similar accessories. So I guess they're not carrying the Magpul D60 drum. I wonder if they got 30 rounders, though. That seems pretty standard.
I think that's very interesting that they're like, yeah, everywhere except Alaska.
Well, that's because it's the final frontier.
Yeah, right. So
also,
they're raising the age and removing toy guns that look like quote-unquote assault rifles from inventory. There's a quote here: "Our heritage as a company has always been in serving sportsmen and hunters, and we will continue to do so in a responsible way." So anybody out there, according to Walmart, that is not doing this is irresponsible.
Well, I guess
I saw, there was a meme that I posted in our show notes here. Let's take a moment to thank Dick's, Walmart, and Google for supporting locally owned gun shops. Basically, they're pushing out all that business to local gun shops, and I'm sure they're very, very appreciative of that. I've actually seen marketing campaigns from local shops that are like, hey, we're not Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh yeah, I did that. That was me.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was
you?
me. That was on. that was from 2012 after Sandy Hook. What I will say is I don't know if I came up with the tagline itself, but I made the image, and that image was on 422 on the electronic billboard.
Wow.
Right after the Dick's opened up by the mall.
Wow.
Got him.
So in continuing this, actually, you know what? I think it's about halftime.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about halftime here.
All right.
Let's go ahead. Matt, I'm sorry we have to
take a break here
this.
for a second.
We have to. We absolutely have
we have
to. We have to
cheerleaders?
plug our sponsors.
No.
I wish we had cheerleaders.
No. Or no halftime show either. Justin Timberlake called out sick.
So, Adam, you want to go ahead and plug our first sponsor there?
Yeah, HoloSun. HoloSun is our sponsor once again this week. They have the Elite series of optics. We've been slapping them on all the rifles around this place. We're going to be headed to the range soon to get them sighted in, shoot them around. We've got a bunch of friends that even go overseas with them, put them to the test, and they've been very happy with them. So if you're looking for a quality, affordable optic, HoloSun's probably got your name written on it.
So the Elite series is actually something a little bit different than what we have. So instead of the red reticle, these are all green reticle, and they're made from titanium housings. So they're even more robust.
Huh? Damn.
I was just talking to Joe over there at HoloSun, and he was telling me that law enforcement nationwide is really digging it.
Cool.
And that's pretty cool. And they start around $250 to get into the Elite series.
With titanium?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. They're legit. And our other sponsor this week is Frida Munitions. You guys know and love them. They support content creators all over the place. And they've got some new defensive ammo called XDEF. And Mr. Guns and Gear did a review on them. We've been talking about the tagged out line, the Hush line, and a whole bunch of others. They've got the Pro Match line, which I really like. You know, Frida Munitions, like always, dedicated to bringing out affordable ammunition so you can keep shooting. If you use the code TGC5, you get 5% off site-wide at freedommunitions.com.
So, yeah.
All right, let's get back to it.
Right. So continuing on this trend of just gun control this, gun control that. Oh, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we throw a temper tantrum and boycott things?
Oh, jeez. Matt, what are you boycotting this week?
Trump.
Okay, Matt's boycotting Trump. Apple and Amazon are supposedly boycotting a...
Not quite.
No,
Almost. Got it wrong. So the headline's a little misleading. Apple, Amazon boycott planned for Thursday over NRA relationship. So what it is people are going to boycott Apple and Amazon in an attempt to drive down their monetary gain for that day.
I'm just gonna say this for our podcast listeners, everybody out there listening. Apple and Amazon don't give a damn about what you do. They have so much money. Amazon is literally the biggest in the world. And you're going to tell me that gun owners from the U.S. are going to boycott them, and
it's not gun owners. It's the anti-gun people that are going to boycott today are boycotting Apple and Amazon. But let's face it.
What?
But let's face it. You'll miss that free 2-day shipping with your Amazon Prime account, so you'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll be back when you need.
Just one day late, not getting that laundry detergent.
I was all over the place on that one. So then there's a whole bunch more of this, boycott that nonsense. There was actually a list.
Yep, here we go.
Where's that list on?
Alamo Rent-A-Car, Allied Van Lines, Avis Budget Group, Best Western, Budget, Chubb Insurance, Delta Airlines. We'll be back to you in a moment. Dick's Sporting Goods, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, First National Bank of Omaha, Hertz, MetLife, National Car Rental, North American Van Lines, Paramount RX, Simply Safe, Starkly Hearing Technologies, Symantec, TrueCar. Does anybody use Symantec still? United Airlines. That rounds out the companies that have severed relationships with the NRA.
Now here's the thing. I've seen a lot of discussion about this saying, oh, it doesn't matter because I'd never cared about the discount. And I understand that logic, right? I get it. But these companies are not just coming out and saying, screw the NRA. They're saying, screw you as a gun owner, because this was in reaction to the recent shooting. This is not an NRA deal. This is bigger than that. So pay attention. These companies don't want your money. Like I have been every time we travel, I rent from Enterprise. I'm done.
I used to do that as well.
I'm done. I'll find somebody else. I'll get an Uber, for Christ's sake.
What about you, Matt? Anybody on that list?
I never knew that there were NRA discounts for half those places. I won't fly United, and I still will continue to not fly United because it's a really crappy airline.
Yeah,
you don't want to get beaten.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like peasantairline.com.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Sorry if anybody works at United. Not really.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Backpedal, Matt.
Yeah, I'll pull a Trump. No, honestly, like I said, I never ever used. I was never like, oh, I'm a card carrying member of the NRA. Can I get a discount? No, I don't know. It doesn't affect my life. I don't care. Whatever.
So it doesn't bother you that these companies are saying F gun owners? Because that's what's happening.
I don't even know who half those companies are. Aside from United Airlines and Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
So regardless of them saying it, it's not going to change your life because you had no business with them to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, if you
I'm
guys
just trying to understand your position.
Yeah, I mean, we can ride in the streets and we can flip some Enterprise Rent-A-Cars, and I'm all about that. We can pretend like we're Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Chevy Aveos.
Wow, is that because you lost? And I don't even like football. How's it feel?
That had to be a shot at John. I see John the first time in like a year, and he's wearing an Eagles jersey and rubbing it in my face, so it's all right.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and again, I get the passion. I'm all for that. But the fact of the matter is the person that's, the average person that's not the 3% pipe hitting sheepdog, lone wolf, whatever, if they're going to save $100 between Enterprise Rent-A-Car and Budget Rent-A-Car, you're telling me they're not going to take the Enterprise Rent-A-Car?
Maybe that's gonna be the new thing. Check out my Punisher skull T-shirt. Give me my discount.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, pretty much. It's the same people that after Sandy Hook said we're gonna boycott Dick's Sporting Goods, but then when Dick's was getting 22 ammo in, they were waiting in line outside for it. So, if you're gonna talk about it, be about it.
Ooh, that's a very good comment.
It's a good thing my username on all these forums where I'm screaming boycott's not the same as my real name. All right. Speaking of Delta Airlines got a swift kick to the nether region, or on Monday, the
So
Senate.
this is in regards to them saying, "Hey, we're not going to support.
We're not gonna continue to extend our discount to the NRA. Georgia Senate said that's fine. We're not gonna push this tax break bill through for you, which was $40 million.
You know what? This is amazing, and God,
$50 million.
God
Sorry.
bless the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia.
So look, I posted it on Facebook. I thought it was hysterical. That said, I don't know how much politicians should be doing this kind of stuff. Now, I get it.
Why should they not be doing this?
I don't
Explain this to me
know.
because I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, look. I mean, really, at the end of the day, the Georgia legislature has no responsibility or the word's escaping me, but they don't have to extend a tax break to Delta Airlines.
Sure, and they didn't.
And they can, yeah, and they didn't. I thought it was funny. My Facebook page has been blowing up with this. People are very angry about this.
What do you mean? They're angry at who?
I don't know. Everybody, me, the NRA, the Georgia legislature. Other people think it's funny.
I'm confused. Who's mad at you?
Oh, I don't know.
No, seriously.
I don't know. I mean, go look. It's on there. It's crazy. That post went really far and wide. Yeah. So,
so
the
you
comments
got
are
anti-gunners coming in. Okay.
Comments say it's extortion.
How is that
one.
extortion?
Well, I don't know. It's anyway. I thought it was kind of amusing just for the amusement factor, but apparently not everybody agrees.
Well, the government doesn't owe anybody a tax break. What?
Well, the government should be taxing people, but that's a different story for a different day, children.
Yeah, taxation is theft. Hey, I got it in this episode.
Nice.
All right.
Boom.
Go!
we need like a Pee Wee Herman thing. You said the magic word.
No, we don't.
No Pee Wee Herman. Come on.
Yeah. So the next two here, I actually had a couple things lined up. We'll be able to get this up on the screen for you folks, but
Yeah, we're gonna put some stuff on
so
screen.
in the show notes, we actually had two of my good friends. John knows him as well. I don't know if Matt does or not. Tony Simon from the Second is for Everybody diversity shoot was out in Jersey yesterday testifying against a bunch of gun control bills that were coming up. And he certainly brought to the forefront the racist origins of gun control, which apparently made a lot of people in the room feel uncomfortable as they're trying to pass more gun control.
Good.
Just so you know, I do know Tony. He's actually my brother from another mother. So
Perfect.
Tony is honestly one of my favorite dudes out there.
And he's doing awesome work with the Second is for Everybody. 2A, 4E. Go check that out. If you got a couple extra bucks, throw it towards him so he can continue the programming. I've been very supportive of it. I know John here has as well. It's a great thing. It's really just to show everybody that it doesn't matter whether you're white, black, gay, straight, whatever. It's for everybody.
Quite literally.
And he's getting a lot of new shooters in.
And he's doing this primarily in New Jersey, which is awesome. He's starting to bleed over here into Pennsylvania. We've been trying to get him hooked up with, whoever he needs hooked up with. So that's cool. And apparently Roy from Weapon Outfitters also testified.
Yeah, so out in Washington, while they were trying to ram through new legislation out there, Roy was out there and he testified. He gave a quick 1-minute speech, some Q&A stuff, but he testified that he owns a company, employs 2 vets, has done training, spoke about the physical characteristics of firearms and how they don't do anything as far as enhanced lethality and things like that.
The mere presence of an inanimate object does not change.
So the purpose of that, and I wish I could have played the audio clips. Unfortunately, we haven't figured out that technology quite yet. But the purpose of telling you guys about that is twofold. One, so you go check it out. Two, that people within the industry, our friends, not just us, but it is possible to get involved. Go to these things, make your voice heard. There were a number of citizens who we don't know that were at these as well. So you guys need to do that kind of stuff, and we're really proud to know those guys. So awesome, big props to Tony and Roy for doing that stuff, and everyone else who took part as well.
And you know what? This is a good point, because you don't have to be a person in the firearms industry to be able to go testify.
Not at all.
We've had conversations with. I've personally had conversations with Tim Knight, who is a current NRA board member and is running again. I openly support him along with Adam. Tim's a great guy, and he has made a lot of headway in getting and educating more people on testifying in situations like this, like going to the Capitol and testifying when necessary. Now, the other topic is this glorious video of a lieutenant.
I can show the video.
You can
just
show
kill
the video.
the audio.
Yeah, just go ahead and mute it. Adam's going to put this on screen for anybody that's watching live.
Sorry, Matt, you're going away.
If you've
for a
never
second here.
seen anybody shoot, why don't you make that full screen if you can?
I can.
Hey, there we go. So anybody that has ever shot an AR-15 will know that the recoil is not substantial, and if you hold it right, it's fine, easy to control.
Not when it's in full semi-auto.
Full semi-auto, whatever the hell that is.
Oh, hold on. We got to go back to
There
here
it
we
is.
go.
Here
All
we go.
right.
Adam's playing it on the screen right now. Just who is that? The general?
No, that is the
That's
reporter.
the CNN guy, and the general's allowing him to be an idiot.
Apparently.
Oh.
And apparently the range staff has decided not to throw them off the range.
That is awful. So for those of you that can't see this, that are listening in your car, he's got the full-on lean back like he's in a Joe Budden video. I don't know, some old rap video. I don't remember who did the lean back song. It was Big Pun. Big Pun. I think that's who it was.
No, it was Fat Joe.
Fat Joe. It was Joe. It wasn't Joe Budden. It was Fat Joe. And he was leaning back full on, did not have the gun to his shoulder, and was just dumping rounds aimlessly into the range. And it was, Adam is now taking a picture while this is playing. Yeah, we're live here on YouTube, and this is atrocious. I cannot believe that a general was a part of this.
Well, the best part is that he refers to it as he shoots. No, this right here, what you're seeing, that was him shooting it in semi-auto. Now, if he puts it in full semi-auto, he probably won't even hit the target, which begs a lot of questions here as to why are you even shooting at it at the first place when you're supposed to be knowing what your target is and what's beyond. Also, his chicken wing is awesome.
Just
Can I
awful.
say something?
You absolutely can.
Can
Please.
I say?
I suppose.
When people are like, "Oh, we should put veterans in the place of schools and stuff like that, so they can protect the schools," I don't want that guy defending my kids. Sorry.
Hey, fair point.
Yeah. So that was just, man, you can't. I don't know. You just can't make that stuff up. So in other crazy things on the news this past week, MSNBC, known for its fair coverage, and I use fair in quotations and heavy sarcasm, has this to say about the AR-15 style rifle versus a handgun. The source is Dr. David Schatz, a trauma surgeon who's apparently testifying or providing information about the velocity.
So the graphic, for those of you that cannot see this, it says AR-15 style rifle versus handgun. On the left, it's an AR, and it says fires bullets at about 2,800 to 3,000 feet per second. On the right, 9mm handgun fires bullets at about 700 to 1,100 feet per second.
Apparently, they've never played with 10 millimeter.
10 millimeter is best millimeter. But the point is, what does that have to do with defending anything? The speed of the bullet is negligible.
I have no idea.
This is the kind of crap that they're latching on to. I can't stand this stuff, man.
Well,
I can't.
What's interesting,
my
and it looks
soul.
like Matt's got something to weigh in on it with, but what's interesting to me, or really problematic, is that the news is representing this as actual information to people. So people who don't have experience with firearms, not necessarily
That
people who are
sounds scary to someone that's undereducated.
right. Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, if you're rabidly anti-gun, it's not going to matter to you anyway. But the person who's in the middle here that's trying to get information, what they believe to be information, is being fed this kind of stuff. Like full semi-auto, you won't hit your target. This is a weapon of war. The speed of the bullet matters. Yeah, maybe if we're standing across from one another and we pull the trigger at the exact same time and we're not going to hit anything that's important.
So I'm gonna pose a question here, and neither one of you is going to be able to answer it. Maybe the audience members on the YouTube live stream can answer this.
The YouTube.
If you put a rifle in full semi-automatic and you cannot hit a target, how did Vegas happen? How did Florida happen? How did San Bernardino happen? if you can't hit a target when it's in full semi-auto, which is semi-auto, how does this happen? Semantics. It's dumb. It's dumb. All right.
He says
ahead,
that,
Matt.
and then he shows the target. He said that, and then he showed the target that has hits on it. So it's like, did somebody walk up to the target with a
It looked like some
pencil
of them
and put
keyhole,
little holes in
too.
it? Yeah, they did.
Sweet rental rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I believe that is the last thing before we get into some gundustry news. I
Yeah.
want to take some questions here. So if you guys are out there watching and you want to ask us a question, remember we will 100% read the Super Chat stuff if you want to do that. Otherwise, we got a couple here that we're going to get to. One from Young Black, and he says, I've seen a lot of people talking about armed revolt. How do y'all feel about that? Adam, how do you feel about an armed revolt?
No
This
comment.
is a serious... No comment?
No comment.
Okay. Matt, let's toss it to Matt. What do you think? Armed revolt. What do you think?
Well, it'd be a good idea only if you're wearing your Punisher shirt and your 3%er hat.
No, seriously, Matt, what do you think?
And Crocs and
Yo,
it's
don't
stupid.
hate Crocs.
No comment
Matt's
on
having
Crocs
another
either.
stroke.
No, honestly, again, I get. So here's the thing. Let me talk about this firsthand. I get when people are like, oh, they're so pissed off. Let's revolt. Let's do this. Let's carry our guns to the state houses. Dude, Massachusetts, okay? Everybody on Massachusetts bitches and postures and everything else online. When the Attorney General of Massachusetts took away everybody's right to purchase a AR-15 or AK-47 derivative rifle on July 20th of 2016, do you know how many of those patriots showed up to the State House to protest the following Saturday?
Not enough.
3,000. 3,000.
how many were there?
6% of the gun owners in Massachusetts.
There you go.
How many what?
I was saying how many gun owners.
Yeah.
You said it. 6%.
Yeah, exactly. So stop talking about it. You and your Uncle Daddy ain't going anywhere to do anything. Not going to happen.
Uncle Daddy.
Uncle Daddy and Sister Mommy.
It's a
Man.
thing I learned living in the Oklahoma.
Oh man, living in the Oklahoma. So I'll take the wrap up on that. Armed revolt. It's not time yet. Don't get too excited.
You're going to end up in jail
Side
alone.
Streetways 16. Is the gun slump over then?
Currently.
Yep. It's over for now.
Currently, yeah. Until this panic subsides because Trump has now said that gun control's cool.
I've talked to people. Some shops are saying up 200%. Some shops are 300% up. It really depends. Manufacturers are going crazy. I had a conversation with a large retailer today and asked them that same question. How are you guys doing? What's going on? Are you seeing a bump? Absolutely. And I said what's going to be really interesting is that suppliers relaxed. Everybody relaxed on their purchasing.
Well, they had to.
Right. They had to.
They didn't have the
but
funds.
They had no choice. They had to relax. They could not keep buying at the rate they were buying. So distributors are going to run out very quickly, right? Well, guess what's next? Manufacturers are not going to be able to keep up with this spike. Again, same thing as what we dealt with before. But hey, it's real. We've got another question here, guys. Again, drop them in. Izzy is in our comments.
By the way, this
trolling.
is just 87-dimensional chess.
87
This is
dimensional
Trump's way
chess.
of putting a bump to the firearms industry.
Right, sure.
Of sarcasm.
Can Walmart even mandate that you have to be 21 to buy a gun legally? Can they do that?
Well, Walmart is telling you that to buy a gun from them, you have to be 21.
Yeah, and they have every right to do that.
Questionable.
Questionable?
Don't
Really?
know.
What?
Don't know. Something I'm looking at.
Okay.
Don't know the answer.
Okay, that's very interesting. We've got a question specifically for you, Adam.
Yes. So yes, we
I'm
talked
gonna
about
let me read this.
Okay.
Isn't the Pennsylvania Constitution written even more clearly supporting our right to bear arms for self-preservation as opposed to the U.S. Constitution?
So I think we touched on this last week. I don't remember. But
I don't
we talked
think so.
about the 10th Amendment.
We read it, but we didn't.
Well, we talked about the 10th Amendment and stuff, and some states still don't have a provision in their state constitution about this kind of stuff, about the right to keep and bear arms, and other states do. So Pennsylvania does and has for a very long time. And ours is that we have the right to bear arms in defense of ourselves and the state, and it shall not be questioned. So yeah, ours is very clear in the sense of that Pennsylvanians have the right to bear arms in defense of themselves as well as the state. Other states, some mimic the Second Amendment, some are different. But yeah, ours is pretty clear, and there's a lot of other states that have provisions in their constitution as well.
Okay. Last question we've got here. Have you heard of the NPR story about the church that worships using AR-15s?
Yeah, that was actually up in the Pocono region, and I was going to put that in as a story, and then I read
That's
a little
real?
bit more about the church, and it seems like it's more of a cult than a church. But yeah, they'd had some kind of thing with AR-15s, and it looks like we may have a.
It's not actually a question. It's just a super chat, I believe. Why don't you pull up the back end of YouTube and see if we can look at that?
Yeah.
There you
we
go.
got two. We got two. Hold on. So the first one, I live in the city of Philadelphia and want to buy NFA weapons. The sheriff won't sign off as far as I can tell. What are the ways around this? The sheriff doesn't have to sign off anymore. It's just notification. Boom.
Okay.
You're welcome. We got another one here from Mr. Roman.
Thank you guys for these super chats.
Do you want to read this one?
Let me see.
It's right
Here
here.
we go. Now they're in the notes. It's not updating on my screen here. Sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Roman, 10 years selling, training, and range officer. People are actually coming to my store to ask questions because they see the crap the media is feeding them. People are awakening. Love your channel.
Thanks.
Mr. Roman, thank you so much. Stay
cool.
woke is the phrase.
Stay woke.
That's what the kids are saying these days, right, Matt?
I'm
That's
so
what you say.
old.
Stay woke. Come on, I'm
Yeah,
hip.
there's. Can I read a question?
Are there more questions for you to read? Yeah, absolutely. If there's another
Well,
one.
there's something that it just popped up that it's a really good point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Manpower said, "I'm so tired of this anti-gun stuff. How about some talking points to push back with? Give us some gun apologetics." So I guess that's somebody's looking for answers.
Yeah, they're
I
looking
guess,
for
to
they're looking for ammunition as to what to say, and
Right.
that's
So, I mean-
a way to fight back.
Yeah, and I mean the way to win, and again, you're really never going to win an argument with a liberal, Democrat, anti-gun person.
There's
But
no winning in
it
an
comes down
argument.
to
It doesn't happen.
when you punch somebody in the face, there's winning.
Yeah, very funny.
There's the statistics and the numbers are out there, and this is one of the things I tell people all the time. How many people are there in the United States? Like 360 million or something like that?
I don't know that.
Yes,
answer.
no. I'm looking for affirmation. Adam?
Why would I know that?
There's a lot of people.
There's
in
a
the
lot of
United
people.
States.
Lawyer.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
because numbers are my
whatever the
thing.
number is. Well, they should be. It's something like 360 million people, and a third of those people own guns. They're gun owners.
Are
So
you
if
going to go all
guns were really the
Threeper on us?
Oh, for
No,
Christ's sake,
no,
let him
no.
finish.
if guns were really the problem, with all of these people that own guns and the statistic that it's like every person owns 3.9 guns or whatever the hell it is, essentially making it almost more guns than people, then there should be a mass shooting and a homicide and a suicide like every millisecond of the day if guns were really the problem. So when you go and you look at the pure number and the statistics of it, and the amount of people that own guns, the amount of guns there are in this country, and the amount of actual murders, armed robberies, stuff like that firearms are used in, it's tiny. The number is, I don't want to, I'm going to say it, but I really don't mean it. The number is insignificant. And what I mean by that is compared to other deaths and stuff like that across the country, not that anybody getting murdered is insignificant.
Statistically
But
insignificant.
Correct. Thank you. See, you know about math stuff. When you look at it like that and you break down the numbers, it's very easy to win almost every single firearms argument with somebody that says we shouldn't have guns. Guns are the problem. Because, again, back in the day, in, Revolutionary Civil War times, there were more guns than there were people here. And there still wasn't, mass shootings and everything else going on. So something has changed. And it's not, the guns have changed. Technology has changed. But, it's just, there's plenty of numbers and statistics out there to crush anybody's anti-gun rhetoric.
We're being told that there's about 323.2 million people in the United States as of 2016. Thanks, Shelly, for that one. Shelly for the win with some big news there.
Before we get too far, we've got another super chat here that I want to make sure we hit because we're reading 100% of those. Guys, education is the key here. This is not the time to argue. Nobody wins in an argument, and I've expressed this on TGC News. When you tell a human being that they are wrong, they dig in. Most people are unable to accept when they're wrong. Regardless, they dig in on their opinion and tell you, they fight back, right? They push. So when you start an argument, like, oh no, you're stupid. Well, obviously you've already lost. You've already lost. You call somebody a libtard. You've already lost. Forget it. These sorts of things that a lot of people do on the internet and say, oh, I'm just going to tell them, I'm going to shove my opinion down their throat. That's exactly what they're doing to you through legislation. Stop being a moron.
It works in your echo chamber where everybody agrees with you, and even then it gets annoying and old. On top of that, you're not going to convince somebody who's well entrenched in their beliefs. However, it's the people that sit in the middle that you're looking for.
Right, and those people cannot be swayed by such things. We've got another
the other thing?
chat. Matt, do you want to read this question?
Do I?
No, I said Matt. Let's let Matt read it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, never mind then. So the question is from Greg Ledette.
We'll let Matt answer it, though.
I can read that.
Okay.
Read it.
When will don't tell me what to do. When will the NRA realize that videos like Dana's video actually gives the other side ammo to use against us?
Can you describe? Did you see the video?
I want nothing to do with Dana Loesch. I don't like her. I don't think she's a advocate for the Second Amendment. So that's my 2 cents on her.
Have you seen the video itself though?
It's bad.
Nope.
Okay. The reason I was going to ask
it doesn't surprise me.
So the video, for those who haven't seen it, and maybe I'll put it in the show notes if I remember here. Essentially, it's her. The entire ad is this rhetoric of the far
They're
left.
using their media to tell you what they think. They're educating in the schools. It's along those lines.
The clenched fist of truth will see us through. And meanwhile, the whole ad mentions nothing about firearms or the Second Amendment or anything that it should be talking about. But it's from the NRA. I've said numerous times that I was not a fan of that. I thought it did more harm than good. It panders to a very small base, if you will. I don't even know if I want to say base.
The reality is that is ammo against us, and it was done by the NRA's marketing company.
I'm not, again, not a fan of it. Just simply saying that I think they're pandering to a very small group of people. I don't even want to say base with that.
It's a small group of people, and that was a stupid thing for them to do. So we've got a couple more things. I think we're going to run a little bit long here tonight. So praise us if you want longer content. Chris USA.
It was because of the math.
It was the math and Matt having multiple strokes live on air. Chris USA launches Edelweiss Arms. This is their brand that is all about milsurps. Is that correct?
Yeah, it
looks milsurps and antiques.
Looks
Matt,
like
have you seen this?
Be, focusing on the import and sale of antique firearms to the United States. This sounds like it'll be right up your alley, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, obviously listening, can't see. Matt has a massive amount of AKs behind him and other things, FALs, and Lord knows what else he's got back there. So he's got a really interesting collection, and you're a milsurp guy, Matt. What do you think of this?
The more milsurps coming in the country, the better, because then the prices will start to go down to the other ones. I mean, I love the history of the guns. I love, knowing that a lot of my guns were actually carried to have the vet bring back papers with them and stuff like that. And I think something that's been lost along the way is the history behind firearms. Like everybody just thinks of an AK or an AK-47, but they don't really know where it came from. They don't know about STGs and stuff like that. And
Right.
I mean,
the
bringing that
massive
stuff,
history there.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Even like I'm on a huge history kick right now with FALs and the Bush War, and I'm going so deep down that rabbit hole. It's crazy. I love the history of it. It's how I got into guns, was the history behind it. 'Cause I was always a huge Revolutionary War, Civil War buff, and it took off from there. And it's stuff that they don't teach in schools anymore, and it's kind of sad. But yeah, I mean, anything like that to me is positive, because you can get new gun owners simply based upon something's history. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
never thought I would own. Yeah, I never thought I would own 25 Mosin Nagant rifles.
Do you really have 25?
The history.
How many of those did you bubba?
Yeah, I have none. No, I hate bubbas. I have a crate sitting right next to me of 20 finished Mosin Nagants.
So
I have
Matt
more than
DeVito
25
is
Mosin
your
Nagants.
contact for Mosin Nagant sales. Please go hit him up on Instagram.
Speaking of stuff from Matt here, so we got a super chat question for you.
Super chat
So,
question.
This one comes from Bat22. Matt, do I really need to go out and buy a pair of Crocs to join the revolution? Can I get them from Amazon Prime still?
Yeah, just make sure to
Ooh,
use the
that's a good
TGC
question.
affiliate link. Oh, that's gold.
If you're going to, make sure they have little Punisher skulls on them, or you get the little
Is that a thing?
piece of Punisher flair.
Listen,
No, it's
if
probably
if
not,
somebody
but-
no, seriously,
We should
I'm 100%
do that. We could
serious.
sell them.
If those exist on Amazon, the little Punisher skulls for Croc shoes, if somebody sends me a link to them, I will buy them and give them away next week.
I bet we could get them laser engraved on a pair of Crocs.
Okay, so
We're going to buy a pair of
we're
Crocs
going to
and
give
give
away
them
a
away
pair of
next
Crocs
week.
next week
This is
because somebody's
amazing.
got to start the revolution.
All right, next one comes from Chevy Supreme. Why does the left not offer any actual solutions when screaming do something? That's a good question. It's because it's not the solution that they want. Really is what it boils down to.
Yeah,
solutions have been
this-
brought to the table. It's just not what they want.
We are coming together to quote unquote find solutions, but nobody's willing to give. And I mean, we certainly should not. There's no reason for us to drop our rights and give up rights because of somebody's emotional reaction to a bad thing happening.
We've got another one here from Alaskan Ballistics. Don't we have percentages on mass shooters being fatherless and or atheists or liberals?
Does religion play into that?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's looked at that.
I saw a quote on social media, of course, and I cannot tell you if this is correct or not, but it said that I think a large portion of the shooters in recent memory, all the way back to like the guy who shot Lincoln or something, they were all Democrats. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if it's true. All right, so we've got one more. And go ahead, Matt.
On that tip, I was at a gun shop the other day, and I was talking to a guy, and he didn't seem like the type of guy to BS. He told me that his friend was one of the crime scene investigators at Sandy Hook, and that when they went to Adam Lanza's house, that his mother was not a call girl or a prostitute, but she got around town a lot, from what I was told. And it kind of goes with this kid down in Florida too, is they're saying that, the no father figure, mother was never around. So, you gotta kind of start to wonder. And I said it last night too, is maybe if people started parenting more, and being better parents, then kids would stop doing dumb stuff. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
I think it absolutely falls into parenting. We've got two more super chat questions.
And then we're going to be done with those for the evening because we're running kind of long on the podcast itself. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Sure. So Stephen Mitchell, he says less than 275 killed by black guns, over 800 babies killed a day by Planned Parenthood. So anti-gun, quit talking to me. That's what he says. I'm not going to touch that abortion issue with a 10-foot pole.
The only thing I'll touch on it super fast is that if you're using that to talk to people that don't share the same values of you, you're talking a different language to them, so you're not getting anywhere with that argument.
Yeah, not everybody shares those values. I'm not touching the abortion issue at all. What sci-fi show / comic to dress up as when carrying the Tavor 12-gauge bullpup? I lean to Starship Troopers. Would like to know more. Matt, if you could tell them what sci-fi comic thing, because I know you're big on that. I'm kidding, he's not. Go ahead. What's your recommendation? Tavor 12, how do you dress up?
A what?
A Tavor 12, the 12-gauge bullpup.
Shotgun?
Have you not seen this thing? I thought you were a gun enthusiast.
Yeah,
Matt.
I have. I am. I'm a FUD though. There's no place for that in my gun collection. I can't shoot ducks with that.
I beg to differ.
If you're gonna dress up, yeah, it's true. If you're gonna dress up for the Tavor 12, I don't know, probably some stupid spandex and I don't know what all the other dumb people in comic book things wear. I don't know.
All right.
It's not my bag. It's not my thing. I don't know.
That's okay. We won't hold you to it. So those guys that remember from last week, X Products, James Malarkey, president, is now gone. He's been removed as CEO. He's been replaced by Dewey Ackers. Senior management found it necessary given the community's response. What I don't know is whether or not he's still a owner of the company or not, and whether he was an owner. So some people I saw comments said they were, this is just a move to placate people and not actually a move to get things done. Yeah.
And then until they buy him out, it's not going to matter. And the public knows.
Well, if he doesn't have control, yeah.
No, they don't. Yeah. No, they don't. Because you know what? Because I specifically, I don't even know why. It popped up in my feed last night on Instagram. And I went and I looked, and so many people were like, oh my God, this is such a great move. We're so happy you listened to us. Screw James Malarkey. Yeah, it's like, it's the same company. The guy made the company. He's still there. Nobody removed him from anything besides name. You're all idiots. Go buy 22 ammo at Dick's Sporting Goods in your Crocs.
Oh my God, Matt is very upset.
What is with the Croc hating, man? I don't appreciate.
I just want to punch
them.
Are
they that comfortable?
You ever wear those camping? They're amazing after a long day of walking.
Also, Punisher Crocs coming up soon.
Roger Bayless, by the way, says he just wants to say hi. He loves watching the content.
Roger, thanks so much for.
He
the
says y'all
super
too,
chat.
so he must be from the South.
He said y'all twice in that.
Hey, Roger.
Double South.
Double South.
Hey, Shelly for the win said Matt is a hot FUD Sunday. Ha 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 ha. Also, just before we go tonight, tomorrow on the Legal Brief, we will have an episode called How to Stop Gun Control. Adam is going to be educating you guys on the process for stopping gun control. So that's going to be a good one on the Legal Brief.
You guys have been asking, so we're talking about it.
We're talking about it. It's about time. So, Matt, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up, brother? You got to tell people where to find you and where to send your Punisher Crocs.
You can find me for firearms training stuff at DRF Training on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. The new Vero thing, Vero, whatever that is. And then for all the hunting stuff, at Matt DeVito Hunts on Instagram and Facebook. That's all I got, man.
Cool. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you joining us tonight, Matt. It was kind of a last minute thing, so thank you for jumping on here.
Yes.
Guys, if you're out there listening, please leave us some feedback on iTunes, Google Radio, Stitcher, whatever. I don't know where these things are. Anywhere you're listening to the podcast, leave some feedback on YouTube in the comments section. We appreciate it. Send all your hate mail to the Adam Kraut on Instagram. That's a guy you wanna hate on all day.
Thanks.
Adam, if people go to your Instagram, what are they gonna find?
Pictures of dogs and fun things.
All right, so send all your hate mail to the Adam Kraut on Instagram, and I think that's all we got to do. We got to make sure that everybody supports Frida Munitions and Holosun because they support our podcast.
Since we said we would read all super chats, Greg Let It says vote Adam Kraut for NRA board.
Yes!
Sorry, how to do that. Yeah, but send your hate mail, generally speaking, to the guncollective at gmail.com.
That's it, man.
Yeah, that's it. So thank you, Matt, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you. And if you folks enjoyed the way we did this segment, please let us know that in particular. We are interested in trying some different things out to see what you guys like. So anyway, we'll catch you next week. That's all from here. Au revoir.